I was standing in my dad's driveway at 10 p.m., staring at the glow of the kitchen window, wondering if I should knock or just get back in my truck. The air smelled like wet grass and gasoline. The kind of smell that always reminds me of growing up here, in this small Ohio town where everyone knows everyone's business, except when they don't. I hadn't been home much since Mom died 5 years ago. Dad remarried quick, too quick, and I never really forgave him for it. And tonight, standing there, I kept thinking about the thing my cousin Jake had told me over a beer at Rusty's bar. Man, you really don't know the half of it. What the hell does that mean? I'd asked him. Jake just smirked, wiped the foam off his lip and said, "Ask your old man. Or better yet, ask Caroline." Caroline being my stepmom. Now here I was, my palms sweaty, heart thumping. I was 28 years old, running an auto shop during the day, sleeping alone at night, trying to keep my head down. But Jake's words had cracked something open in me. When Dad finally opened the door, he looked older than I remembered. Same flannel shirt, same smell of cigarettes and motor oil. "Thought I heard your truck," he said. I nodded. "Mind if I come in?" The kitchen looked exactly the same. Oak cabinets, chipped linoleum, that old clock that never kept time. Caroline was at the table, her hair tied back, a glass of wine in her hand. She gave me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Well, this is a surprise," she said. I sat down across from her. "Jake said something weird the other night, about me not knowing the half of it." The room went quiet except for the hum of the fridge. Dad lit a cigarette, and Caroline's smile froze. "What exactly did he tell you?" Dad asked. "Not much, just that I should ask you." Caroline looked at Dad, then back at me. And then she said the sentence that I swear will echo in my head until the day I die. "You were never supposed to find out, Ryan." I didn't even know what to say after Caroline dropped that line. My chest felt tight, like all the air had been sucked out of the room. "What the hell does that mean?" I finally managed. Dad slammed his cigarette into the ashtray. "Caroline, don't." She looked at him, and I swear there was something almost relieved in her face, like she'd been waiting years for this moment. "Ryan," she said, her voice quieter now. "You've always wondered why your dad and I got married so fast after your mom passed." I nodded slowly. My mouth was dry. "It wasn't just loneliness," she continued. "We'd already been involved. Before. It was like someone kicked me in the stomach." I pushed back my chair, nearly knocking it over. "You're telling me you were screwing my stepmom before she was gone?" Dad stood up, his face red. "Watch your damn mouth." I laughed bitterly. "Oh, I'm sorry. Is screwing my stepmom too harsh for the man who was actually doing it?" Caroline flinched but didn't deny it. The silence between us was worse than yelling. The kitchen smelled like smoke and cheap red wine, and I just wanted to get the hell out of there. I stormed outside. The gravel crunched under my boots, and the night air hit me cold. I heard the door slam behind me, then footsteps. "Ryan, wait," Dad called. I spun around. "For what?" "Another lie." He shook his head. "It's complicated. Your mom. She was sick for a long time before she died. She knew about me and Caroline." My throat burned. "You expect me to believe Mom was okay with it?" He didn't answer, just looked down at the ground like it might tell him what to say. That silence was louder than any confession. I got in my truck and peeled out of the driveway, gravel spitting behind me. My hands shook on the steering wheel all the way back to my apartment. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing Caroline's words. "You were never supposed to find out." And then Jake's smirk at the bar. The next day, I cornered Jake after his shift at the feed store. "Spill it," I said. "What else do you know?" He leaned against the wall, chewing on a toothpick like he had all the time in the world. "Look, man, all I'm saying is, your mom's death wasn't as clean as everyone pretends." My stomach dropped. "What the hell are you saying?" Jake shrugged. "I'm saying maybe you should look into it. Hospital records, insurance, all that. Just be ready for what you find." I didn't go to work the next morning. I just drove. Ended up at the county hospital where Mom spent her last weeks. The building looked smaller than I remembered. The kind of place where fluorescent lights hum too loud and the air smells like bleach and stale coffee. The lady at the records desk gave me the runaround until I mentioned I was her son. After some paperwork and waiting in a chair with a ripped cushion, they handed me a thin file. Too thin. I sat in my truck and flipped through it. Most of it was routine checkups, pain management. But one note stood out, written in shaky handwriting. Family refused further treatment. Patient transferred to comfort care. Family. That meant Dad. My hands started trembling. Mom had always been a fighter. I couldn't picture her giving up like that. That night, I confronted Dad again. He was in the garage, tinkering with the old Chevy he never finished fixing. You pulled her off treatment, I said. He froze, then wiped his hands on a rag. Ryan, she was suffering. That wasn't your call. My voice cracked. She could have had more time. He looked at me with something between guilt and anger. She asked me to. She said she didn't want you watching her waste away. She wanted to spare you. I shook my head. You expect me to just believe that? While you were sleeping with Caroline behind her back. That did it. His face twisted, and he slammed the hood of the Chevy down. The bang echoed through the garage. You think you know everything? You don't know a damn thing. She knew. She forgave me. You want the truth? Your mom told me once. Ryan's stronger than you think. One day he'll understand. I felt hot tears on my face, but they just made me angrier. Understand what? That my dad betrayed my mom? That my whole childhood was a lie. He stepped closer, and for a second I thought he might hit me. Instead, he just whispered, almost broken. She made me promise to keep the family together. That was her last wish. Caroline appeared in the doorway then, pale, clutching her wineglass. He's telling the truth, Ryan. Your mom didn't want bitterness to eat you alive. Couldn't take it. I shoved past them out into the night. The cool air smelled of wet leaves and gasoline. My chest hurt so bad I thought I might collapse. And that's when Jake's words came back to me again. Be ready for what you find. Weeks went by. I worked long hours at the shop, kept my head down, avoided family dinners. But the silence ate at me worse than any fight. I started drinking more, sitting in Rusty's bar until closing, staring at the wood paneling like it might give me answers. One night, Jake slid onto the stool next to me. You look like hell, he said. Thanks, I muttered. You find what you were looking for? I laughed bitterly. If betrayal and half-truths count, then yeah, jackpot. He studied me for a moment, then said, You ever think maybe your mom was trying to protect you, not hurt you? I glared at him. Protect me by letting Dad and Caroline play house? Jake shrugged. Protect you from hating him forever, from letting it ruin you. That stuck with me. On the drive home, headlights cutting through the dark country roads, I kept hearing Mom's voice in my head. Or maybe it was just Dad's memory of her. Ryan's stronger than you think. The next Sunday, I showed up at Dad's unannounced. He was on the porch, smoking. Caroline wasn't around. For a minute, neither of us said anything. Just the sound of cicadas and the creak of the porch swing. Finally, I said, I'll never be okay with what you did. To her. To me. He nodded slowly. I don't expect you to be. But, I continued, I don't want to spend the rest of my life angry. I don't want that to be her legacy. He looked at me then, really looked at me, and for the first time in years I saw my dad instead of the man who broke everything. His eyes were wet, though he'd never admit it. You sound like your mom, he said quietly, and that was it. No big reconciliation, no hugging it out. Just two men sitting on a porch, broken in different ways, trying to honor a woman neither of us deserved. The thing is, family drama doesn't end with a bang. It just lingers, like the smell of smoke in your clothes. But sometimes, if you're lucky, you find a way to breathe through it. I don't forgive him. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I think I finally understand what Mom meant by her last words. Ryan's stronger than you think. One day he'll understand.